What's going on, guys? Justin Greer, Bakersfield local licensed electrician. That's a two-prong plug there. No one likes those because you can't plug in everything. Well, let's change it out and I'm gonna show you how I do it. It's pretty simple. We're in a bedroom here. Usually bedrooms are 15 amp circuits, 15 amp breakers. They'll be on if it's not labeled in your breaker box. So I'm going to do it live, show you how to do it live, but I recommend you turn off the power when you do it. So you need one of these here. This is an outlet, 3-prong outlet. This you can actually install on a 15 amp or a 20 amp breaker / circuit, even though this is only rated 15 amps, the code allows it. So if you look on the one side of this, you see this green screw, that's the ground. And that same side, usually those are the neutral, both of those. And the opposite will be the hots, the black wire. Neutrals are white. Green is usually bare copper. You can go around the screw or you can insert in the back. If this is a 15 amp rated outlet, then only 14 gauge will fit in there. This is a 15 amp circuit, so this is 14 gauge wire in there. So I'm going to open this up. 1/8 inch screwdriver works perfect for these here, these covers, plates. And if it's a 2-prong, you probably will need a flat head to take it out. Those screws there, they require a flathead screwdriver. This here is an insulated screwdriver. Not required, but I use it. And as you can see, the newer ones, they use the Phillips, which you can use a drill in that case. So after you loosen these screws, if this box here is metal, be extra careful because you don't want the sides, these screws, to touch the metal. It's going to spark if it is live, if the breaker is on. But remember, I recommend you turn off the breaker and don't grab it like that, because look, if you grab it like this with no gloves, you're going to get shocked. Those screws are live, they're hot. I'll pull it out like this, nice and straight. Sometimes you can wiggle up and down. Keep your eye on the wires. Wires might be loose, might be popping out. You don't want any bare wires touch any like bare black wires touching that copper wire, for instance. Luckily it's tucked nicely in the back there. So, and this is pretty common. You'll see 2 whites and 2 blacks. That means it's probably either the start of the circuit or not the end of the circuit. The black goes to the breaker. The white goes to a bus bar in the main panel outside, and the ground does as well. This ground wire is just tucked in the back with a wire nut and not landed on this particular outlet, as you can see there, because this bottom hole is ground, right? The right side, that right slot is actually the hot, that is actually the neutral, and that is actually the ground. Remember, this one didn't have a ground, okay, which is this hole. Tis why that wire is not connected. We'll do a little pigtail jumper and we'll get that landed on the new one. So we can cut the wires off, or we can take our screwdriver and stick it in here like that and release the wires. If you are doing this live, use an insulated screwdriver, wear gloves. Remember, do not do this live. I will do it live right now though. Okay, let me take this off. If you're doing it live, take off the black first. But you're not doing it live. As you can see, the lights came off, so I know this is tied to the lighting circuit. Okay, so one of these are live. It's good to use a tester. These are $10 at Home Depot, Lowe's. This is a good to have too. Great alternative for a multimeter. This tells you the voltage if it's 120, 240. Those two leads. Okay, so I pulled these out using the slot method. But remember, like I said, you can also cut them like that. Just if you're cutting live wires, just make sure, you know, because as you cut, the metal becomes live. So that's why I have gloves, and this is insulated. But if you're cutting and touching something else, it's going to spark. Remember that. But don't do it live. You can even strip live wires. Because if you cut them, you have to re-strip them. The key is just wearing gloves. So these are the neutrals, so voltage is very minimal. Okay. If you are using these inserts here, you strip it about 3/4 of an inch. If you're wrapping it around here, maybe like strip it like an inch. So, okay, so I'm gonna do the hots last. So let's put a jumper. You need to put a jumper on that ground wire, that bare copper wire, so let's do that. All you do is take off the wire nut. Take that off. This is a scrap piece of Romex, 14-2 Romex. Make sure it's the same size. And you check that by your strippers. When you strip it, you'll know what size it is. You can use your strippers to kind of gauge what size it is. When in doubt, you can use 12. And also you'll know by when you turn off the breaker, if it's a 15 or 20, the outlet dies. You'll know the amperage that way as well. So pull out a bare copper wire out of that Romex. Take your needle nose, grab it like that, and roll it over till you have a hook. Hook your wire and tighten it down. Okay, and then this is going on that wire nut. You only needed about, this is kind of long, but let's do that. About 6 inches or so. Go like that, and then screw your wire nut down just like that. Okay, let me show you. tighten that thing on like that. And then you can proceed by pushing the wires back into the back of the plug. And the light came back on. Now, if you're going to use these, remember these are live right now, these, you're going to hook it around those, you better have the power off, or make sure it's not under a load. So, if you're not sure what that means, just turn the power off. So, if you're pushing them in the back live, just make sure you do it quick and smooth, and it won't spark. Otherwise, you'll get a spark because it's under a load. And I know it's under a load because the light is on, and the light is tied to this. And that's pretty much it. You push it back in there. These screws back in the same holes, and that outlet is now a 3-prong. These screws here, I like to screw them down. You can probably do it beforehand, so when the next time you open this up, it's less of a chance of it sparking on the sides of the boxes or you touching it and whatnot. So as you can see, this is a metal box, so you don't want the screws touching that box there. So that's pretty much how you do it, folks. Thanks for watching.